Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to VT Sports. I'm Danny Kanell, alongside my guy Chris Manno. Fun show lined up for you. Episode 27 today. Appreciate all your guys' support. Like, subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments on there. Always love your guys' feedback. Fun show lined up. Mentioned it. We're going to dive into the Olympics a little bit. The Team USA hockey, both men and women's, get the gold. We'll talk about the reaction to that, some of the aftermath. We've got UFL. Some very interesting rule proposals, some rule changes that are going to happen in UFL. Could the NFL actually watch and learn, potentially take some of those rule changes, apply them to the NFL? Think that could be a fun conversation. Darren Peterson, a freshman phenom at Kansas, has been the discussion of college basketball this season. I want to dive into that with my guy Manno as well, kind of see what he thinks. There are a bunch of freshmen that are going to be coming out this year. Who would he take first? We'll break that down a little bit as well. A wild story out of USC, a recruit stealing stuff on a recruiting trip, allegedly, in the words of the PBD podcast, allegedly. But we'll dive into that as well. How could somebody be so stupid? And a bunch of other fun topics lined up for you today. But let me check in my guy Manno. Hope the weekend was good. How's everything been? Good?
Things were good, man.
Nice.
Big sports weekend, Olympics, and then it took us right into a live pod this week. We had a lot of fun. A lot of fun last couple of days.
So last night there was a live PBD?
Yes, sir. Last night we put together a live watch-along for the State of the Union. The new world record holder for the longest speech in presidential history is
There was
President
never a
Donald
doubt
Trump.
on that. There was never a doubt.
He holds all the records now.
Yeah.
But, it was a good one. And, Pat and the boys did watch along. We did a little hour before, hour after. It was fun.
You guys have more endurance than I do. Now, I do a morning radio show. I got to be up early. I was fired up to watch the State of the Union, but I did not make it till the very end. So I did not see the record setting. I fell asleep probably with about 45 minutes left into that. But the story of the night for me, it was the story of the Winter Olympics for our country. There were some great stories, a lot of gold medal winners.
For sure.
But the gold medal games between the men and the women, both of them were phenomenally entertaining. And then the men, who haven't been in this position since the 1980 Miracle on Ice. Mm-hmm. That, to me, was what made this so much more dramatic than the women's. It's against Canada. We've had this rivalry unfold since the last time they faced each other in the what's the heck of the name of that thing they called it again?
The Frozen Four or something.
Yeah, whatever they called that, where they dropped
awesome.
the gloves and they fought. So you knew the United States was an underdog, nowhere near the underdog they were in 1980 versus Russia, but they still were an underdog in the game. And then the way the game unfolded, it was incredibly close.
Yeah.
It was tight. You could cut the tension with a knife. It felt like at any point you could see this game swing one way or another. The third period, so I didn't get to start watching till the third period. My daughter had a soccer game early that morning, and then as soon as we got home back to the hotel, I was in Atlanta, I'm telling her about this game. And so I'm building it up, telling her it's been 46 years and all this stuff, and telling her about the movie and telling her what's at stake. And so she's getting into it. So she's watching it, and she starts cheering for him. And the way the broadcasters were acting was that Canada was the better team. And that, they were the ones that were outplaying the U.S., and the U.S. was in that position. And then, of course, then it goes to overtime. And I wasn't even aware of the 3-on-3 aspect to that, which is in the Olympics, which is pretty unique. Mm-hmm. And I did have a hunch that it could end quick because you open things up, all of a sudden it opens up the scoring. Yeah. And then we do get, history made with a golden goal from Jack Hughes, which was spectacular.
Unreal.
It was just awesome. It was so much fun to watch.
It was sick. And then the 3-on-3 rule is one that the NHL adopted a couple of years ago. But what they do is they don't do it in the playoffs. So, they don't want to change the game so significantly that no shootouts, obviously. And then the 3-on-3 thing. And actually, oddly enough, on the back end of it, the Canadian team was pissed about it. They were all saying, this isn't real
whining,
hockey.
Crying. Stop crying.
You saw John Cooper, who's the coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's Team Canada's head coach, saying, once you take 4 guys off the ice, it's not even hockey anymore. So, you knew it was going to be over quick because there's just so much open ice. He knocked out of his face, and he came back in. You think, this is no shade, but we look at these NBA players.
Oh, my gosh.
They tap a finger on somebody, and they're out for 6 weeks. And Jack Hughes gets his teeth knocked out of his face, and he comes back, and he's an absolute legend now for the rest of the time, right?
Unbelievable. I wasn't aware during the game. I saw him get the high stick penalty. I saw that.
Yeah.
Did they mention that he lost his teeth? Did they know during the broadcast? Because I don't remember them talking about it. I honestly don't recall. I just remember the game being tight and tense. I don't think anybody really realized it until after when he's talking and he's got blood coming out of his mouth and he's missing 2 of his teeth, that actually happened on that play.
Well, I think that's how you know hockey players are different, right? I think it's like par for the course. Like if you haven't lost teeth playing hockey, you really haven't been you're not really a hockey player, right? Yeah, it was cool, man. I don't know. It had to happen then. I think after
it definitely did. It happened in the game, but I just don't think the broadcast kind of was aware of it because I do think he just kind of went over.
Yeah, you don't even miss a shift.
Exactly.
Yeah. Incredible.
There's some hilarious videos comparing like NBA to NHL.
Oh yeah,
where they intertwine him. Anthony Davis is out there and he's like gets a little up finger and he comes out and he's out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've gotten the pleasure to know a lot of hockey players through some charity golf tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the best dudes, low ego,
yeah,
just laid back, easy going. They like to get after it, by the way. You don't ever want to get in a drinking contest with any sort of NHL player, but just always super low key. And they were the thing that I loved about them. And again, we talked a little bit about some of the Olympians who acted embarrassed to be American. And again, I don't have any problem if you disagree politically and you can state your political views. But when you say you're embarrassed to represent our country or represent the flag, that's when you cross the line for me.
For sure.
And the U.S. men's hockey team leaned in the other way.
Totally.
They really embraced the fact that they were proud to be American and they were, proud to play the colors. And I thought Jack Hughes' post-game interview, moments after he hits that, was one of the best post-game interviews I've ever heard because he did give the credit to, he's like, I'm just proud to be an American. He gave the credit to his teammates, gave it to the goalie, credited to Canada for being a great team. Mm-hmm. I thought this kid is a superstar in the making. There it is, that top one, right? Up 1 or 2, right there. That's the one he did right after the game. There. Yeah, that's the one that he's doing right after the game. We can hear a little bit of this, I believe, and him talking about the win. And unbelievable. Just to embrace that was awesome.
Yeah, they did. They completely bought into the whole, look, man, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You win a Super Bowl, you win a Final Four, you win an Olympic gold. The opportunity, Democrat, Republican, Independent, it doesn't matter, man. You got to embrace that opportunity that so few people get to go be a guest at something like that and then to be honored. If you remember, he spent more time, I think, President Trump last night speaking about the USA hockey team than probably any other topic. He gave Connor Hellebuck like the ultimate honor. He's now going to get a Presidential Medal of Honor or a Presidential Medal of Freedom or something for having a wonderful, he's got like this crazy viral picture where he's robbing Jonathan Taves of a goal that he scores like 99 out of 100 times. And if you recall from the NHL, Connor Hellebuck sort of had a he can't win the big game like stigma attached to him. So awesome job by Connor Hellebuck, who also came in and he was so grateful and so gracious. And what I love that Jack Hughes said there is he's talking about the culture within the locker room. And if you watch the whole thing and you're familiar with the story of Johnny Gaudreau, familiar with that?
Oh, man.
So Johnny Gaudreau is an American hockey star who from the time he was like 18 came on. They called him Johnny Hockey. He was so good. And he lost his life riding his bike to a drunk driver a couple of summers ago. Mm-hmm. And Team USA has sort of carried on as if he was still part of this. There's like this beautiful moment where afterwards, and they talk about the camaraderie of this Team USA. And guys, it's a huge deal. That chemistry and that love is real. And after this was over, they went to the crowd and they grabbed Johnny Gaudreau's 2 young kids and they brought them onto the ice and they took this beautiful picture with Team USA. Now, a couple days before the Olympics, they extended an invitation to the Gaudreaus, and they didn't accept. They said, we're going to stay home for this one. And then the Gaudreaus, the day before the Olympics, said, we thought about it again, and we think Johnny would want us there. So they came, and they brought him, and this like such a beautiful picture. Those kids now, they've been embraced by this team. It's what a sweet thing, man, because Johnny Gaudreau came up in the program, and shout out to the USA, man. It made me proud. It gives me chills to think about. And they weren't the only Team USA to win a gold medal on a golden goal.
Yeah, the women's team did as well. The way they won in dramatic fashion because they were trailing by 1, had to pull the goalie, score the goal, and then they get the golden goal in overtime. Was absolutely spectacular. Again, some people say, well, why didn't they get as much attention? They've had way more success recently on the global stage than the men's team have. But it still shouldn't take away anything from what they've did. They were spectacular. By the way, speaking of patriotism, them arm in arm singing the national anthem when they were accepting the gold medal, that was awesome. You could see their patriotism on display too. So very, very proud of both the men and women's hockey teams.
And right or wrong, I think just the men are just more recognizable because the NHL has a bit bigger reach. If you know the game, though, guys, one of the few women's hockey players that I think a lot of us are familiar with is a woman named Hillary Knight. Mm-hmm. She's one of the most decorated U.S. women. She scored that big goal with 2 minutes to go to tie it. And then can we give some love to Megan Keller?
Yeah.
Because Megan Keller scored a dirty goal.
Yeah.
She dangled the girl, and she's a defenseman.
Yeah.
So that's pretty incredible. A defensewoman? A
Yeah,
defenseman?
yeah.
A defensewoman?
I don't know.
And she hit a dangle on this poor girl who went sliding back into the crease, and the camera stayed on this poor Canadian girl as she's laying on her stomach. But shout out to Megan Keller, because that goal was as nasty as any male goal you're going to see. She came up the left wing, she dangled the girl, and she put it in, and it was an amazing goal. I wish the camera people would have stayed with her so we can kind of watch.
Right.
But, man, look at that poor girl sliding into the boards.
Insane.
Well, it was an incredible weekend for hockey, and this is the second time we've seen it on like a national tournament level. I hope it turns over because it's such a fun sport to watch, guys. If you
really is.
If you haven't really dug in and watched it, man, give it a shot. It's a lot of fun, man.
So it felt like the entire country was watching these teams. And it felt like...
Not to interrupt you, but the game was at 7 a.m. and it had 26 million live viewers.
Oh, yeah, it was insane.
7 a.m.
Everybody was tuned in. Everybody was watching it. And it felt like it brought the whole country together.
Right.
And that lasted for 5 minutes. I mean, literally, it only lasted for 5 minutes because all of a sudden controversy erupts. And this is what drives me nuts. And I think a lot of it are sports media who blow things way out of proportion.
Okay.
All of a sudden, Kash Patel is in there, and he's in the locker room celebrating with the men, drinking beers, and they get the president of the United States on the phone, which should not be a big deal for the president to talk to the gold medal winning team from the U.S.
Agreed.
And he talks to him, and he cracks a joke. And you could say, yeah, I was like, when I heard it, I was like, oh, boy. Like, why would he say this? Because I think that's what Donald Trump does a lot. Like, why did he go too far? Why did he say that? And he said, I want you guys to come to the White House, and, I'm going to have the women there, too, because if I don't, I'll probably get impeached. And, some of the guys laughed. Oh, my goodness, they laughed at a joke.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, right back to getting division, which drives me insane. Like, wow, felt like so American when we're rooting for these teams. And then for 48 hours, the debate, should they go to the White House? Should they boycott the White House? They're going to humanize Trump. They're going to do this. And they're becoming political pawns. And it's just so frustrating to see the reaction to we can't even enjoy something for 24 to 48 hours without the other side trying to diminish it, trying to take their shots and saying, how dare you go to it's the freaking White House. It's the State of the Union. These are once in a lifetime opportunities that those players would have gone if it was Joe Biden. They would have done the same thing. But all of a sudden, everybody on the left, and a lot of it is sports media who are so high and mighty and pious, and they, a lot of them lean left. They don't want him to go. And they're starting to bash him when every time you heard Jack Hughes, anytime you heard any of the Kachuk brothers, they were like, we're not political.
Yeah.
It's the president of the United States. We're going to go, because it's a really cool opportunity.
Right.
And instead, that wasn't enough. They wanted him to boycott it. And then, of course, the women don't go, which I did see that Trump said they're going to come back to the White House.
Was cool.
We'll see if we get them there. And their schedules are probably a little bit complicated. They don't, but the guys probably have access to private jets. They make a boatload of money. The girls' schedules are crazy too. But it just became such another dividing point, which is so frustrating when you think about the state of our country right now. And it was on display in the State of the Union when you can't even clap for, some people didn't even clap for him. Like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yeah, well, where I think the first thing we have to always bring it back to is never, ever, ever mistake social media for real life. Because I think every person I know in real life was caught up in that patriotic moment. They were pumped up. I think there was a little like red meat out there for people when the women seemed like they weren't going to come. But again, I think it did come back to a scheduling issue, which is pretty cool. If on a sidebar, if you realize how much the men wanted to go, if you realize the men were at the State of the Union last night at say 9:30, the NHL starts back up today.
Yeah.
So they wanted to go so bad that they made it a point to get there, and now they're flying all over the country to try to get back into games tonight. So shout out to them again. But yeah, man, I don't get it, man. It's become so ridiculous that this is something that divides us. That they could turn anything into something that divides us. And I think honestly, as great as social media is because it connects the world, I think that's going to always be like the poison pill where you can always find a way to get people riled up, find a way to get everybody on. It's like a cancer, man. Cancer starts small.
Yeah.
You start to spread, and it becomes something that just permeates everything. And
I was tempted because I did see a social media post that at 11
in
South Bay. I should have asked Adam.
Okay.
Because he's all connected at the clubs on South Beach.
Oh,
where they were
11.
partying. They had a celebration for him. I mean, they were. I've never seen a club sing the national anthem. People were
cool,
joking
right?
because they had strippers up there, saluting like hand over heart.
Yes,
it looked.
yes.
I mean, it was.
Heart.
I mean, they were doing "God Bless America."
Yep.
They were doing everything. It looked incredible. I kind of was like, man, I want to go. I want to see this celebration take place. Thankfully, I did not, because I did again mention I have a radio show that starts at 6 a.m.
And you'd be divorced.
Well, see, that's what you said. The thing that you said was impressive was them that they have games on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was impressive because they went till about 6 a.m. the night before and then flew up and did the State of the Union last night.
And it was also an impromptu trip because if you know, they were supposed to fly back to New York and the weather just got so crazy it made it impossible for them to get back there. So they were able to throw together a banger like this in just a matter of hours. So shout out to Team USA Hockey and whoever provides them entertainment, because 11 was rocking.
Yes.
Elbow Room had the Kachucks there, so it looked like a blast.
Elbow Room was going on?
Yeah,
they had
Elbow
them there?
Room had the Kachucks there.
See, that was easy drive for me. Fort Lauderdale's not bad.
No.
Done
But the
that
Elbow
one.
Room was probably a madhouse, man.
Yes.
I'm sure everything was packed, but good for them, man. They deserve it. And you know what? They say this is hockey is Canada's game, man. Haven't had a Stanley Cup from north of the border since 1993, and now we've taken the most recent gold medal. So I don't know. The tides are turning.
Let's go.
The tides are turning. Let's go.
I
Stars
love
and
it.
bars.
I'm going to talk smack to all my Canadian friends because there are a lot of them here in South Florida coming down south for the winter. All right, you know what? Season's coming up. We've got the NFL Combine. It's Combine season.
For sure.
But it's also, we're on the verge of the UFL season.
Yes.
Which has, I think, Europe, NFL Europe failed. There's been several leagues, the AAFL or AFL failed. UFL feels like it's got some legs. They've kind of figured some things out where they play, at a couple different sites. They don't travel very much, and they kind of have these home sites that host all these games. And I think one of the things they've done is really embraced some rule changes and the ability to think outside the box. One that jumps out to me, and this is something that college football has embraced, and I would love to see the NFL embrace this, was last year the ACC had the replay officials where you get to listen. The broadcasters stop talking, and then you get the sound from the officials talking to the command center.
That's really
cool. And every college football fan is like, this is the best. Guess where that came from? The UFL. Like, it's a perfect experimental ground to try out new things and to say, all right, does this work or not? And if it does, at least college football is willing to embrace some of this. The NFL, we'll see if they get on board. But some of this stuff I think is pretty fun.
And I don't know if it is the exact same rule, but some semblance of the kickoff rule. The new kickoff rule came from something like this, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so they embraced that. And I think it's cool because, they have some powerful people sort of involved in this league, which has been very helpful, I think it was the UFL merging of two leagues at some point? It was.
XFL with the Rock and UFL merged, yeah.
And then I think Under Armour at some point had something to do with it.
Yep.
And you've seen a couple of good players come out of these leagues, like a kid like Cavante Turpin.
Yep.
He's a real good player for Dallas now for a couple of years. Great kick returner, and he's starting to make some plays at wideout, and he came from a league like this. So I think as long as a couple of players a year start to migrate over and have some success, maybe it'll
it's minor league football. You can't play in college. You're kind of not. Your eligibility's out. You don't have a place to play. It's great for these guys to extend their careers a little bit.
And it's not basketball where you can be out of eligibility, play in the league, and go back to college.
Yes, exactly, which they are trying to do.
We don't have that yet.
So I'm trying to decide what I think of the 4-point field goal.
Right.
Like, because now 60 yards is becoming pretty routine. Like, these guys are knocking these things down.
Yeah.
But is 60 the right number? Do you need to move it back to 65? I think this will be interesting to see how this factors in and what type of impact it has. Because, again, some of these kickers we'll see in the UFL if they're as good as some of these incredible kickers we're seeing in the NFL. But I think that's a pretty interesting rule change.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because it keeps teams like now 2-score games or 1-score games from 65. The only thing I don't like, though, and with these kickers making the field so much smaller, is like, in the old days, you almost had to put a drive. Like, you're a quarterback. I have 1:30 left. I got one timeout. I got to go 50 yards so I can get in field goal range.
Right.
These guys complete a ball for like 23 now, and they're in field goal range for the middle of the logo. I don't know how I feel about that.
Right.
If it was my team, I love it. If it's not, I think I hate it.
And in the NFL, when you think of guys like Mahomes and Josh Allen, like for them to get we see game-winning drives sometimes with only 20 seconds on the clock, which is pretty insane. You'd see that increase even more. All right, I hate this one.
You hate the 1 foot inbounds?
Yeah, because I wish college would go 2 feet. Okay. Like, I wish college would make it harder, and I think it would help players adapt to the NFL. The thing I'm curious to know from your standpoint is it says on there, potentially enhance player safety. Why does it make it safer to only get 1 foot in bounds? Like, is there a chance you'd pull your hamstring because you're trying to get 2 feet in bounds? I don't understand that. But these are, and again, I think college should go to 2 feet. I think it would make it more entertaining and you'd see more skill and guys are capable of doing it. But I don't like this is professionals. Like, why are we diluting the game to have them only make 1 foot?
Yeah, I from an injury standpoint, I mean, I guess I don't know if it's about maybe getting hit while you're contorting your body, because I've seen like a guy like Chad Johnson or a Dwayne Bowe that I played with, just absurd body control where they're in these crazy positions and they somehow get 2 feet down. I guess it leaves them prone to get hit a certain way, but no, I don't know that it's more an injury thing. I think that's probably an easy way to get any rule passed nowadays, saying we're looking out for the player's safety. We probably don't mean it, but it's but yeah, no, I kind of feel what you feel in the sense of if it's the highest level of football, we got to make them do the most for a catch. I think that's probably like the third or fourth thing I'm worried of. The 2 feet down on most of these catches is usually the thing I don't debate. It's about control. I'd love to get a little bit more clarity on than that. But let's see the red zone penalties.
Red zones, reinstituting the rule of half the distance to the goal line. That one's fine. Reverts back to the NFL, to the current rules. That one's like a no, like,
okay.
That's
Did they try something different last year and now they're going back to?
I don't know. Now, the next one I think is going to be a little more controversial. And this is something the NFL can't get everybody on the same page. Thank goodness. Get it out. I want it out of the game. That is not football. The tush push is rugby. It is not football. And congrats to the UFL for realizing that it is an entertainment product. No one wants to watch a bunch of dudes get up in a scrum and just push each other for sometimes 10 to 15 seconds and a play that also happens to be unstoppable when the Eagles do it. I think it's a horrible product for television. I think the NFL should follow the UFL, and congrats to UFL for recognizing that it is not the sport of football.
I know you hate it, and I know it's not like fan friendly, but it's like one of those things like where you celebrate in front of a guy and he gets pissed, and I'm like, you don't want me to celebrate, keep me out of the end zone. If you don't want the tush push to be, just stop it. Find a way.
But have you seen how like illegal it looks? Like when they're like jumping off sides and they're so low in their stances, like it's kind of ridiculous.
It's super ridiculous. But I mean, at this point now, we're like 3 years into it. Right? It's like the only thing that defensive coordinators haven't found I mean, we saw the Wildcat become a thing for a little bit, and defensive coordinators found a way to adjust and stop it. I think if one team is doing it, man, that means one team is doing something better than everybody else. So find a way to stop it. And I don't really care about this one too much. I know no punting inside the 50-yard line is sick. I love that. That's like me and my friends playing Madden.
Yeah.
Like we never punted.
Yeah, I love that. I love more often. Again, that comes back to the entertainment aspect. Yeah. No one wants to see the corner kick, the punter, like the corner kick.
Corners.
Congratulations. But they want to see guys try to convert fourth downs.
Of course.
By the way, the tush push, the NFL officially voted 22-10 against the banning.
Yeah.
They need 2 more teams, 24, to get the 2/3 majority.
Okay.
So I think they'll get that passed here.
Well, we'll see we'll see how impactful it is this year.
Yeah.
Overtime, 3 attempts per team. Teams will alternate attempts from the 5-yard line. If after 3 attempts per team that tie remains, the teams will alternate attempts until a winner is determined. The home team will have the choice to go on offense or defense first. A coin toss will be implemented in place of home team's choice. Okay.
I like college football's overtime rules. I love the old school, rules. Like Texas shootout, whatever you want to call it, where each team, you play real football. The best. I think the one adjustment they can make is maybe move it back to the 30. So the first field goal is a little bit more challenging. Yeah. It's not such a chip shot, but I like that. This one's pretty interesting.
This one could really change a game.
And I think this one's fun. I think this one would make things really interesting, where you get this. So you've got the traditional 1 point back from the 33-yard line. 2 point, that's traditional, 2-yard line, and then a 3 point if you place it at the 8-yard line. I love this. I love these outside the box ideas from the UFL.
I like it until I realize that, like, I don't know, man. I think it makes the rest of the game a little less impactful because, like, you could jump out to a 2-score lead and they could tie it in 1 touchdown. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it completely changes football. I love the idea if my team is chasing, but if I'm ahead and I worked to build a lead and I know that with how do you, I don't know. I guess with they taking the onside kick out of games, which makes it really hard to get back. So maybe something like this kind of can counterbalance that. That's cool. I guess I'm comfortable with it. We'll see how it goes here.
Finally, the last item on their docket is the kickoff rules.
That's a lot of rules.
That is a lot of rules. I don't know. It seems similar. I guess if you go out of bounds at the 40, it's a pretty penalty. You want to keep it in bounds. And sometimes you see kicker misses those. I don't know. This one's like, Yes. I like the kick. I like the 4 points for a field goal plus 60, and I do kind of like the PAT rules. Again, I want to see how they play out. I wouldn't say, hey, NFL, just take them. Yeah. But I think they will provide a lot more entertainment.
Yeah, I think the 4 points I'm down with. I like that one a lot. The 2 feet in thing doesn't really make too much sense to me. The tush push thing I don't care too much about. But yeah, man, there's a couple of them there that I would like to see how they work. And if, like I said, I thought the kickoff rule was a step in the right direction. I thought that would end up turning out good. So let's see.
Yep. All right, let's talk about this pretty wild story in college football and high school football. Because when you're a recruit, you get to go visit, you get access to a lot of really cool things. You get the tours of the locker room. Shoot, they even let you now. You can dress out, put a whole uniform on, you take pictures, get a photo shoot on it.
Yep.
You can get a lot of these guys. Do you know that players are getting paid to take a visit? They have like an appearance fee almost. Like, hey, I'll come visit you. And this is different, but at USC, they could technically a recruit say, I need $5,000 just to come on a visit. 10 grand.
Unofficial or official?
Me either.
So
whatever they do, like the player wants cash to come get a visit because you only get 5 officials, I think that's why they drive up the price a little bit. Any way to get cash, so they're actually getting cash just to take visits.
If you could take unlimited unofficial visits and just make money doing that,
it's got to be for official. It's got to be for official. But that's the case that's happening out there.
What is happening?
And when you do that, you would think you'd have enough money to buy some sweet gear, which would prevent you from stealing gear, which is the accusation that's taken place. Jacoby Lane is a great player at USC. And there was a clip that was going viral. Jacoby Lane put this young player on blast and said, this kid stole my cleats and a bunch of stuff from the SC locker room. All y'all kids out there just know this is simply unacceptable. And what's kind of crazy is that the player he's accusing of it posted on his own Instagram, right? So you see, this is the high school player. He's putting out his offers. He's putting Nevada, other schools. And then in his story, he's like, look at all this gear I got at USC. And it's all Jacoby Lane's. It's like gloves, socks. I think there's a jersey in there as well, some pants, like some hoodie. Yeah. It's some sweet gear. So this story blows up out there, and people are crushing the kid, saying, well, how could you do this? How could you take all this stuff, multiple pair of cleats? Here's the thing. The kid finally spoke up, and he said, wait a second. I didn't steal it. I paid for it. He has a statement out there, Brawley Tui Tupopu. I think that's how you say his name.
I think that's probably not how you say his name.
It's actually, there's actually 3 names. I thought it'd be easier to say just 2. Brawley Makalo Tui Tupo.
Okay. We'll say the USC recruit.
So he puts out a statement and he says, I want to address the situation that's been discussed online and clear the facts. I did not steal any gear, nor would I ever knowingly possess stolen property. The items in question were purchased by me in good faith, and I have documentation showing that I paid for them under the context they had been obtained legitimately. At the time of purchase, I had no reason to believe they were connected to any issues. As soon as I learned there were questions surrounding the items, I began working to resolve those issues, return the items back to the rightful owners. I take my character and reputation seriously. Anyone who knows me understands I try my best to let integrity, faith, and respect. I have a lot of respect for Jacoby Lane. I would never intentionally do anything to disrespect him. I'm thankful the facts are coming to light, and I'm focused on moving forward to better myself both on and off the field. You know why I think he's telling the truth? Because I don't think there's anybody dumb enough in America to post pictures of stolen items on your story, your Instagram story. So I kind of believe him.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think some stuff probably was stolen and Jacoby Lane didn't know it. And then this kid probably bought it off somebody, probably for cheap, and just got a bunch of gear. Maybe it was $100, $200, whatever it was. But I don't think he knowingly would have bought or stolen stuff and then posted on Instagram.
Well, first thing, Jacoby Lane has to understand the severity of this claim, because if this is not true and you put this tag on this kid's name, I mean, you understand the sanctity and the sacredness of a locker room. And if you're pegging this kid a thief, like, you're going to completely, like, that's going to tank his, recruiting. That's something he has to, live with. And that's a tough thing. Secondly, like you said, it's perfect to put that online knowing you stole it would be bananas.
Right.
But then to have paid for it and it be all used, sweaty gear is kind of weird to me, right? Because it doesn't look like it's new stuff.
Right.
And he almost came out when he tweeted it, he almost made it seem like it was stuff that he got on his visit.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting too, which I didn't think about until just now. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it'd be crazy to put you're putting the evidence on your stories.
So then I thought this response was pretty interesting. This was Jace Rogers. Right. He played at Houston, and he calls out Jacoby Lane.
Yeah.
And he says, you might be the first person in history to post something like this. When you was in his position, you did the same thing. We all did. That's lame.
Yeah.
I don't know about we all did. Who's he calling? We all did. I never stole anything
Same.
Now, I was looking for gear and I was hoping to get a t-shirt or a hoodie or something like that. but I would have never gone into Casey Weldon's locker and taken a pair of cleats. He was the starting quarterback at Florida State when I was on my visit. Elvis Gerbach, Desmond Howard won the Heisman Trophy. I was in Michigan on a visit.
Yeah.
I would have never thought in a million years. I might have tried to buy something if it was offered for me, but I never saw any other player blatantly just taking stuff, and yet that's what this Rodgers dude is claiming. Everybody steals stuff.
Yeah, something I've never heard of before, where guys just go in there and make themselves comfortable in a locker room that they don't even belong in yet. So pretty crazy to say, and that's a big accusation. Again, if Jacoby Lane did that, maybe guilty conscience. I don't really know.
I don't know.
But yeah, man, that's like one of the cardinal sins you can't do. You got to be trusted, be able to be trusted in that locker room. We actually had an incident like this when I was in college. All of us were out at a workout, and an injured player got caught taking stuff out of the lockers. And
done.
It was,
you lose all trust with the team.
You have to be
you
done.
steal from your boys.
You have to be done.
There's got to be something sacred about that locker room.
Absolutely. Unforgivable.
You can take from a lot of places, but you don't take from each other.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of the unwritten rule that would take place in any locker room at any level.
Sure.
Our boy Travis Hartman, our boxing analyst,
brother, nailed it.
Nailed it again.
Yes.
Ryan Garcia, friend of the PBD podcast, goes out there, beats Barrios, dominating fashion.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the fight, but I was reading some of the reviews. Ryan Garcia looked great, looked awesome. And our boy Travis Hartman predicted it. So he is now undefeated and giving us predictions here on the show.
Yeah, shout out to Travis. Barrios and Garcia got after it, and Garcia dropped him quick from what I understand. This is the first time in the last few years that what I loved about it is that was. I mean, Garcia hadn't even broken a sweat yet.
Yeah,
and he was kind of, by his standards, kind of tame and quiet going in.
Yeah.
So I think it was like the first time maybe he realized the importance of what this fight, represented. And I don't know, man. It seemed like there was more to him. Just I don't know, man. There was something going on with Ryan Garcia for a while. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, I've been around people who have had stuff going on, and it seemed like he had something going on more than just,
Yeah.
Again, and it didn't seem like that.
To your point, I don't know. And I asked Travis Hartman about this. I said, do you trust Ryan Garcia?
Right.
And he's like, I don't know. I think the boxing world and media in general, I think that's why the fight kind of flew under the radar. Like, you didn't see a lot of pre-game hype, pre-boxing match hype. You didn't see a lot of press. You didn't see, maybe even his own team didn't trust him. Said, let's just go out and get a win first. We'll worry about promoting yourself later, but let's make sure you get a big win first.
I feel like I can almost tell the difference between a guy trying to sell a fight and a guy really going through something.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like the last few fights, I thought Ryan Garcia was was trying to hype the fight. Like, I don't think he was trying to promote the fight. I thought he was really going through stuff.
Right.
So whatever it is, whoever's in his circle, whatever changes he made to try to get himself back on track and make boxing the focal point of what he's doing, because that's why we know Ryan Garcia.
Yep.
And he's had so much talent. He's still young enough to really make something of himself in the sport. So I hope this isn't the first thing. I hope getting a little gold around his waist sort of locked him in. Maybe you realize, I mean, that winning is a sweet taste, man. You've done it.
Yeah.
You get it. It's like it's addictive to certain people. So let's hope he's locked back in and he understands that if I do things the right way, just let my boxing do the talking, maybe I can do this for a lot longer.
I mentioned him being quiet before the fight. After the fight, though, not so much, calling out his next match.
Yes, he did.
As you look at your next fight, what do you want it to be?
You know who I want. He's right there. Shakur Stevenson. Let's go. Let's run that. Hey, I want to be a great champion, and I'm not scared of. I fought Devin Haney. I'll fight Shakur Stevenson. I'll fight anybody. Let's go.
There you go.
That sounds like a competitor, though. That doesn't sound like a crazy person.
Right.
So I'm comfortable with that.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get that fight lined up.
And just while we're on the topic, there it is. That's where we're going, man.
All right. So I am not getting suckered into this again. I don't want to see a couple 40 old somethings.
You're not going to. You're probably going to see 50-year-olds.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is Manny 50 yet? I mean, they got to be getting close.
I mean, dude.
I don't know. This does nothing for me. I got looped into the first one. I've been looped into versus Conor McGregor. Like, these to me are money makers. Yeah. And nobody's better at making money than the moneymaker himself, Floyd Mayweather. And I'm not going to be duped into wasting time to watch it. Are you like excited about this?
Well, first and foremost, I thought the first one happened like 5 years too late.
Right.
Somehow, I don't know, something about the crossover of Mayweather-McGregor, I was all in on, man. I loved how they both sold the fight. This one here, I'm not as excited about. Although, done right, does this count as a professional fight? Because the idea somehow, and call me a hater if you want, the idea that there could still be a 1 at the end of Mayweather's record might be enough for me to pay like $50 to go watch it.
Yeah.
Not, and it's what always was the thing that kind of roped those of us who aren't really Mayweather people in. Just the thought that his perfect record could be blemished. My question for you is, what is in it for Floyd? Like, why does he come back now?
Oh, well, I mean, we talked a little bit about this, Travis, and it was speculation.
Yeah.
Are there money issues?
Can there be
I mean,
money?
the dude lives large. I mean, he's out there. I mean, he is famous with how he likes to flaunt his money, how many cars he owns, how many spots he owns, how much money he's just flaunting out there at the clubs. It's hard to imagine that he could lose it. I'm trying to look up his career earnings.
I think he's made $1 billion.
Right. So how can that possibly be? There's also the chance that he likes this lifestyle and wants to keep it going, and this helps him maintain that lifestyle.
Right.
And I also think, and this is where I think if I had the ability to do it, I think it's really hard to hang it up. Yeah. Like if I could have played football longer, I would have.
Yeah.
And I think, absolutely. I was young. I was only 30. I felt like I had more good years left in me.
Sure.
And there's an adrenaline, a rush,
Can't replicate
feeling
it any
of
other way.
purpose,
Yeah.
that you're trying to accomplish something.
Sure.
That might be it. Floyd may just not want to hang it up. And we saw Foreman go for a long time.
Yeah.
I thought he was more effective and was great because of his size and stuff. But I mean, why do we treat Floyd any differently?
What you think about what Foreman's game was predicated on, just that one big power shot, and I think that's the last thing to leave you.
Right.
And he was able to knock a head off, I think, until the end. I think he was the champion at 45, right?
Yeah.
Mayweather's thing is, see, the thing about Mayweather that always drove me crazy, I thought he cherry-picked guys. I never thought he fought the guys that had a shot when they had a shot, right?
This ain't
He
going to do anything to change that.
No.
Right.
Grabbed Kanell super young. I don't think he was ready just yet. Grabbed Pacquiao 5 years after I thought they should have fought. Now they're going to do it again. But again, man, just the thought that he could put his unblemished record in jeopardy is kind of crazy.
Yeah. 1.1 to 1.2 billion in total career earnings. So I really hope he's not in financial distress, but you never know. Some bad investments, you blow it up big. But we'll see. The other fight that I am a little more intrigued by is actually on the women's side in UFC. Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. I haven't seen either one of them. When was the last time they fought? It's been a minute, right?
Well, Ronda Rousey got erased in about 40 seconds by Amanda Nunes about 8 or 9 years ago.
Right.
And she sort of like made a decision to kind of just retreat. And then she kind of got back into the spotlight, I'd say about 2 years ago, but none of it has been positive. Like she seemed bitter and she seemed upset about the way the UFC handled her, about the way WWE handled her, and she seems like she almost feels like she's owed something. So for the longest time, she's become like a real heel amongst like fight fans now. Like
she's taking shots at Dana White, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And she said before, like, I think I don't go back to the UFC because I'm afraid if I go there, they're going to boo me. Well, they don't boo you because of your performance, because what we've seen from guys before, like Conor lost, but he lost graciously. Right? Rousey lost and she kind of tucked tail, disappeared, and then started talking bad about fans and stuff. So it's an interesting one. I think actually Gina Carano, she's like a sweetheart. I've talked to Gina on Twitter a bunch of times. She's gone into a real successful acting career. Yep. If you're familiar with it, she lost her role in Star Wars a couple of years ago with
Mandalorian,
Disney,
right?
Right, because of her political beliefs. So I think a lot of people over the last couple of years have really gotten on Gina's side. So I think if they actually pitch it like heel versus babyface, almost like a wrestling thing, they can probably sell some fights. And I think I'd watch it.
I would.
Yeah.
I want to see him go at it. It is happening for sure.
Yep.
Rousey is 39.
Yep.
Serrano is 43.
Yep.
So, they're up there in age as well, but they're definitely better than seeing a 49-year-old Floyd fight against 47-year-old Manny Pacquiao.
Totally. And I
think they'll both be fresh. Like either one of them have fought in a long time.
For sure. And I think maybe the guys in the back are Magic. They might be able to find it. I think they're loading up the undercard because if I'm not mistaken, I think this is Jake Paul's Fed. So my understanding is that they went to, because there's like a famous clip that Ronda put out this week. It went pretty viral. Is I went to Dana to try to get this done, and he really didn't seem like he wanted to do business like that. And then Ronda Rousey came out and said something like, Dana White doesn't want to put on the best fights anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how delusional are you to think that you would be anywhere near a card like with the best fights on it right now, right? So I'm not sure, but I think that there's supposed to be a decent fight on the undercard as well. Maybe I'm wrong, but I could. Let's see what it says. Anderson Silva versus Weidman. I don't know if that's correct, but if that's true, that's kind of crazy. That would be nuts.
Yes.
Yeah. No. These are ones that I think people would like dream to see.
Right.
But I thought I saw one more that actually was like being discussed to be put on there with some decent names. And Yeah, again, man, I think I'd watch it just because I'd want to see what they have left in the tank. I'd want to see if Ronda's game has evolved at all.
Yep.
Because they kind of gave the impression they thought she was like a big time striker at the end, and Nunes picked her apart. So I'd like to see if she's improved in that. And yeah, I think it'd be fun, man. I think Gina sort of left kind of out of nowhere to move into Hollywood, and she did a great job with that. So to see if she can, lock herself back in.
I'm curious. I want to see how it goes. The other fight that we talked a little bit about last week, and it's kind of crazy because I guess Floyd is using this as a tune-up because this one's in April against Mike Tyson. Again, does nothing for me. No. This is the one that is an exhibition, but I wonder if the Pacquiao is going to be an exhibition. That one's in September at the Sphere in Las Vegas, by the way. Yeah, which would be pretty insane.
I mean, this one has to be an exhibition, right?
Yes,
because
this
one is a 220-pound man versus like 140.
But again, why do I want to watch that? Other than the spectacle of it. I actually was more curious to watch Jake Paul fight Mike Tyson because I was like, oh, maybe Jake Paul could land one punch. I think that's what intrigued me about Conor, too. Like, there's something to wanting to see if these guys can transition these skills over and see if there's anything there. Like, Conor was known as maybe the best striker at the time in his, in his weight class and stuff. So see if he can come over and make some noise. And knowing that he had a power left and we've never seen Mayweather caught before, we thought maybe there was something there. Like, that one I could not possibly care less about. And you know why? Because I think that if they would have let Mike Tyson go full bore against the Paul brother that he fought, was it Jake? I think I'd be more interested in this, but like the impression that they gave me is he's got nothing left. So, I mean, I watched him not throw punches and dance around for a bunch of rounds. So I don't really care very much about it right now, but yeah. All right. One more story, then we'll do some card breaks.
Okay.
And maybe a little reactions from the fellas in there. They got some videos for us. They're pretty fun. Darren Peterson, the Kansas Jayhawk. He's a freshman. He was projected before the season started, one of the most highly sought-after high school players. He's been projected in a lot of mock NBA drafts to be the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft this summer.
Right.
Comes in there with massive expectations. Bill Self has won national championships, one of the best coaches in college basketball, raved about him.
Yep.
I was talking to a reporter out from Kansas, said he used to reference Darren Peterson last year in the season, saying, I can't wait to get this kid on campus.
Totally.
Well, the season hasn't gone as expected for Darren Peterson. It's been plagued by injuries. Yeah, I see you using the air quotes because there have been some rather sus injuries that we're talking about. He's had the ones that, and none of them are like you don't hear, and I never want to hear this, but you don't hear ACL, you don't hear shoulder separation, you don't hear like they're soft tissue or even worse. Cramping has been a reason he has missed multiple games due to cramps. That was the first major red flag for me because if you're at a program like Kansas and they see one time you have cramps, guess what they're doing? They are pumping you full of IVs. Yes. They are pumping you full of electrolytes. They are making sure that it is not a problem. And yet they couldn't solve that problem. And his minutes were being restricted. He was only playing about 15 minutes a game early. And they're like, we got to figure out the cramping. Then he has an ankle and he misses a couple games due to that. And then he has a little case of the flu. And he misses that game despite going out for warm-ups. He was on the court. He told Bill Self, I can't go. He doesn't go. And then probably one of the more polarizing moments was they were playing Oklahoma State. He's playing really good. He has 19, I think, in the first half, hits a 3 in the second half, early 3 minutes in, looks over at Bill Self and gives him a little, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm out. Bill Self pulls him, takes him out of the game. And then all of a sudden it starts then everyone's starting to talk about it. Like, all right, what are we doing here?
Right.
What is going on at Kansas? When you've watched this unfold, what has been your reaction?
Well, a couple things. I think the first thing and the most important thing is I think we have to do something about that. Why do these guys why can't they go to the league right away? Right?
It's an easy solution.
It sucks for the guys who think that they're ready to make the jump and they fail. But that's where you got to surround yourself with people and a good circle and a good agent that's going to tell you the truth. Because we've seen guys in the past who thought they were going to have bright futures and they go to the league never to be heard from again. But that's why stuff like this happened. And it's because Darren Peterson is a dog. He's an absolute killer out there, right? He's better than everybody else on the court when he's out there, but it's become to the point where he's sort of like bigger than Kansas. And he, like you said, he's making the decisions. When I'm ready to come out, I come out. And that's what I think a lot of people feel. Well, my big question now is if you're an NFL, an NBA GM or an NBA team, how do you go about evaluating a kid like this? Obviously, he's the best player, but we've seen it now where you get the impression that these players have no desire to play. They're going to make $50 million a year and play 50 games a year of 82. How do you go in? And this is something we've spoken about a little bit. At the NFL Combine, you have 3 days where you're getting picked apart, prodded, and interviewed like crazy. The NBA, I don't think, has a process like that where these players can really get interrogated like this. What are you thinking if you're an NBA GM? Like, best talent, unquestionably. Can I trust them?
Absolutely not. You can't. Now, I think there's a major difference in college basketball today in 2026 versus 2020 or 2016. Because Darren Peterson's making $3 million. Like, before, you could understand, he doesn't want to get hurt. He doesn't want to ruin the financial windfall that he's going to get as a lottery pick. And everybody would have defended him. Be like, yeah, I get it. Let him load manage. Let him protect himself for the NBA. Mm-hmm. He is a professional athlete. Whether we want to call him that or not, he is. He's making $3 million. And for me, if I'm an NBA team, granted, there's a lot more money at stake. But to me, he's sending a very clear message that he's worried about himself more than the Kansas basketball team.
Right.
And he's worth more than his teammates. And so he's going to protect himself more than the program. What is going to change when he goes to an NBA franchise? And especially what is going to change if he's in a contract here? Or he's coming up and it's that time when you've got to decide, maybe he's averaging, 18 into whatever his averages are. And he's like, oh, I've got mine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to risk injury. Oh, we're on the playoff bubble. I got to get mine. Because Kansas could win the national championship with Darren Peterson.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares about that.
Yes.
And that's what his and maybe he changes and he turns it on. And I think that's the best outcome. And Bill Self even said that. A way to quiet the noise? Go out there and play.
That's it.
Like, show us what you can do. And so I'll be very curious to see how this finishes. And if I'm an NBA executive, I am watching how he responds to the criticism, how he responds late in the season. Does he put it all on the line? Because you've got several other players. He's not the only great player. A.J. Devonza at BYU,
Stud.
Leading the country in scoring as a freshman, played 40 minutes the other night.
Yep.
They lost Richie Saunders, another one of their great players, and he's out there still putting it on the line. Darius Acuff at Arkansas had 49 points. Freshman record in the history of college basketball. John Calipari said the week leading in the game, for 2 days he was on a walking boot, and yet he's out there trying to elevate his team.
Yeah.
I would rather have those guys. Cameron Boozer at Duke has been awesome. Got NBA bloodlines with his dad.
Totally.
I'd rather have him. I would look at this, and I wouldn't touch him.
Yeah.
That's just me. But I get it. Like, you could miss on a generational talent because everybody that's watched him has said, man, when he's on, he's the best. You got to take him. But I think I'd rather have somebody that very clearly has better intangibles and has more of a desire to be great and more of a team player than somebody who kind of is sending a message that they're more about themselves than the team.
Yeah, and I think it's made no better, especially right now in this day and age, by the NBA and those players almost giving the same feel. Like, it's not like you're going to go into the NBA and things are going to change because the guys in the NBA are setting the tone and they're playing 75, 80, 82 games. That doesn't happen. We've seen first round can't miss picks before, like a Ben Simmons, for example, who you thought was going to come in and he couldn't miss, right? Ben Simmons is a 6'10" point guard. He could do anything he wants. He could pass it. He could score the basketball. He could defend. And Ben Simmons, now the first thing I think about is kid hates playing basketball. Yeah. Made his money, has no desire to get in the game. You look at the league right now, guys like Jokic, Devin Booker, Wemby, Luka, SGA, Ant, all right on the cusp of losing the ability to win postseason awards because they're not even going to make it 65 games. Steph's already past it, not going to do it. LeBron's not going to do it. Giannis isn't going to do it. These are all guys that are not even eligible for postseason awards because they're playing 65 of 82 games or less. And they're making $55 million a year.
It drives me nuts.
So it is a tough. There it is. It's on the screen. Great job, guys, in the back. But it is so hard. Like, it's
you know what I don't think they care about? The NBA awards. Some of them might have bonuses in there, and that's how I would structure their contracts if I was the franchises. But even if they do have bonuses, they're so small compared to their salaries.
Sure.
Players like, I don't care. I don't care if I get an MVP or if I get a Defensive Player of the Year or whatever the award is.
Yeah.
I don't think they care about the personal awards. No one talks about them. They talk about championships like we talk about legacies.
Right.
Sure, it comes into play somewhat. And these guys don't care about the regular season.
Yeah, it's a really, really bad look for the NBA altogether over the last couple of weeks because now we got that deal with tanking. I mean, tanking is becoming a huge thing where teams are putting out G League teams to try to literally lose games to pick guys. And
good luck, you'll get a Darren Peterson. And then he'll come in and he's even going to play for him.
Well, that's why guys who sometimes come off a little nuts, but a guy like Charles Barkley had a great. They asked him about tanking, and he was like, because as crazy as Charles Barkley is, he really does have his finger on the pulse of a lot of things. Charles Barkley's thoughts on this, I don't know if we can pull it up quick, is he said He has three things. He thinks, A, if you finish under 500, your team should not be allowed to raise ticket prices next year. Very cool. That might force you guys to try hard. He thinks every team that's in the playoff, that's in the lottery that doesn't make the playoffs, gets equal number of ping pong balls, 1 ball. Because only twice has the team with the most ping pong balls actually got the number 1 overall pick. So it's not like it's even helping all the time, right?
Right.
And so maybe we can play this, guys.
Can we still close on time?
Got an ad on there. Here we go.
Will it clear on schedule?
But that's basically the premise behind what Chuck was saying. And as crazy as he seems sometimes, once in a while he'll come out with something crazy like this, and it's a great idea. I think it would stop these teams. But like Adam Silver, man, now's the time to get a hold on your league because you're going to lose it.
The elephant in the room is this tanking situation we got going on in the NBA. You see what they're doing in Utah. You see what they're doing in D.C. Now you got the Mavs sort of tanking. I've always believed, first of all, tanking has always been part of the NBA. Let's get that out the way.
Sports.
It's sports. I agree with you, Kenny.
Sports.
We've got to come up with some type of solution because it's not fair to the game, first and foremost. It's not fair to your fan base. I've always suggested this rule. I don't think any NBA team should be able to raise their ticket prices if they're below 500. I've always said that. You cannot raise your ticket prices if your team is below 500. I think they should make that a rule in every sport, to be honest with you.
That'd be interesting, Schuster. That'd be some incentive.
It'd be, but no, not even if you're still trying to tank, you can't raise your ticket prices because then you're getting your cake and eat it too. Which I'm for cake, getting your cake and eating it too.
Yes.
But you should not be able to try to lose. So I've said there's 2 things. Number one, every team in the lottery should get 1 ping pong ball. They shouldn't give you more balls.
So everybody,
Yes.
And that came out the other day too. Hey, maybe we're thinking about everybody's on the same level playing field.
Because the team that had the worst record, I think, has only got the number 1 pick like 2 out of 25 years. So give everybody 1 ping pong ball.
If you don't make the playoffs.
If you don't make the playoffs. But also, this is another one. If you trade a pick, it's gone. Because now teams are they can manipulate. Well, if it falls in the top 3 or 4 or top 7 protected. No.
Love it.
So there you go. That's another way where you with the draft picks too. Like there's teams that make these trades, and then it only if you fall into the top 3 does the trade even go. And it sucks. It kind of diminishes the importance of the trade value. We've seen now in like Europe and all the soccer leagues, they do something really. Honestly, I'm for it. It's relegating. You familiar with relegating?
Yeah, absolutely.
So anybody at home who's not aware, if you're in these Premier Leagues or one of these La Liga teams overseas, if your team finishes last, they drop to League B, and the top team in League B jumps up to League A, and suddenly you're not making. You're not even in the same ballpark with the money that you're making playing from League A to League B, and we got to do something to keep these guys honest, especially as they get deeper and deeper in bed with these sports betting too. So we got to figure something out because the NBA right now, they may seem untouchable. Like there's no ramifications to this, but once you start to have people question the validity of your product, if you're a sports league, you get into dangerous WWE type territory, and it's there's going to be repercussions at some point.
No doubt. All right, let's get some of these reactions. Got some videos from the fellas in the control room there for us. We haven't seen these. Get some initial reaction. Oh, I actually did see this. This is pretty good.
This is great.
With Giannis' sons at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Who's their favorite player?
This is yours? I don't know if that's yours. You like Wemby, and he likes LeBron. Who do you like? Ask him. You gotta ask him for an autograph. They don't see me as. Work hard. Gonna be this like too. Yes, gonna be playing with the fans. Maybe you play this movie. Excellent. If you guys work hard, you're gonna play this one.
I don't think so, Dad.
Yes.
I don't think so, Dad.
In 15 years, Wemby's still gonna be in the league. Yes, still gonna be. How old are you? 4? So at 19, you're gonna get drafted, and then you're gonna be Rookie of the Year, and then you're gonna be All-Star.
Great.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna duck Wemby. Yes.
That's awesome. I love the positivity, speaking into existence to his young sons. That's really cool. Yeah. And of course, they don't think their dad is anybody special. It's just dad.
First of all, I love when we get to see these guys who everyone views as superheroes kind of like take it down and be dads. Secondly, I think you could drop those 2 boys into a room of 1,000 and I can pick Giannis's kids out. Do those kids look more like Giannis than Giannis?
Yes, they do.
Holy cow.
That's a good call.
Strong genes, Giannis.
Yep. All right, what else we got? Ooh, bodybuilder versus boxer.
Jeez.
I'm taking the boxer, right?
Yeah. I mean, wow, it's a
Although
little, little
that
box.
dude is trying to. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Oh boy. Oh, is this the dude who's had like a real tough week, man? I think this guy.
Is he trying to take on everybody different dudes?
I think he's walking around with Rampage Jackson.
And
you ever hear of Larry Wheels? Larry Wheels is like this big monster bodybuilder, and the guy was just so disrespectful towards Larry Wheels' wife. He got the soul slapped out of him during the week, and I think they're calling this guy like a boxer. But man, that was crazy. Yeah, Larry Wheels is not a small dude, and he slapped the life out of this guy.
He did.
It's a tough week for him.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Yeah, that dude's jacked. I would not want to mess with him.
He's huge. He's huge.
Oh man. All right, what else we got? We got one more? One more surprise. And then we'll open some of these cards. All right, wide open. What do we got? Little.
Oh, it's a big boy.
Yeah, he's got some quick feet.
And you see him. You know what? That
was quick feet. That was really good.
Leaned on him a little bit, hit a little punch step, and
See?
not terrible.
Sometimes a big boy's got some feet. They can get open too.
Do you know who I played with for a little bit? That was like a really good runner, and he looked like he would not be a really good route runner and didn't look like Mike Tolbert.
Really?
And Mike Tolbert looked like a little bowling ball running, but he would make linebackers look crazy.
Oh, that's
He had a good career. Yeah. Great route, big boy.
All right, I've been dying to do this all show.
Let's do it.
Let's break open some of these packs. You got hooked up.
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
We're gonna be honest. So what we're gonna do is Danny's been providing the goods the last couple of weeks, and I've had some buddies of mine this week at Bleacher Breaks down here. They're a card company, and they've done us a massive solid by hooking us up with a box of 2025 certifieds. So we're gonna get into these. And look, if we get the right packs, you're going to see something cool today. So we're going to rip this thing. We'll give Danny a couple. I'm going to take a couple, and we will.
I don't want to mess with those. Those are yours, man. Those are yours.
No, come on
now. I got
now.
these retail garbage.
No, we're going to rip these together, man. We're going to rip these together.
Love it. Be careful now. Be careful because these got some hits.
Ooh, there we go. All right, we got 5 packs. I'm going to let you pick your 2. I'm going to pick mine.
All right.
And we'll do the last one off the air unless you want to do 3.
Take 2. No, 2's good. And then do you have the discipline to wait till next week is the question, because I would not.
Me, Deli, and Malik have these things planned. No, we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Start us off, man. I'll close this thing up, and you show us something good.
All right.
So it's supposed to get 2 autos and 2 memorabilia cards and some numbers in this box. So let's see.
All right. And now these are making me nervous because I always get a little bit nervous. Like, what am I going to break? You know?
Well, we're rooting for you, my man.
This thing open.
The hands are shaking?
Yes. I'm nervous. See if you can get that.
This guy's throwing touchdowns in front of 80,000 people.
I'll try the next one. See if you can crack that one just a little bit. Oh, you got it. There we go. Look at you calling me soft right there. But that was pretty embarrassing. All right.
They're nice looking card to start.
Yeah, they are. Oh, here we go.
Oh, I see. You see some color in there? Or
yeah, I do.
Attaboy, Danny.
All right, little Tyler Shuck, who was, he's second in Rookie of the Year, just lost out. Tedero McMillan, maybe the future of the Saints franchise. Looking pretty good. There we go.
Parallel? Is that Micah?
Ooh, that is a Micah numbered.
Is it numbered to what?
55 at 225.
Okay,
so not
225.
bad, but a little color on that one as
There we
well.
go. Micah Parsons.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Stud.
Yep.
Tough
Zach
receiver.
Charbonnet, another stud. And then a little Travis Kelce.
Little Trav? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on the next. Let's go to the next.
Yep.
I feel some weight in here.
Oh, I like
Got
that.
some educated hands here, man. I feel some weight here.
This Micah Parsons.
Oh,
number's
baby.
pretty cool.
We start off with a Jordan Addison Franchise Foundations.
Ooh.
Oh, we have one.
Oh, nice.
We've got a rookie patch auto. Jalen Noel to $4.99 on the rookie patch auto. Nice job.
That's pretty cool.
That's not a bad looking card, right?
Yeah, that's
Say it
really
again?
cool. Oh, yeah.
What do we think? Jalen Noel to
pretty sweet.
$4.99 on
Yeah.
the RPA.
Yep.
All right, there's a
That
little
is
hitter.
sweet.
Got a little Brock Bowers, rookie record setter. A little injury plague this year, but he'll come back. James Cook, All Pro. And we've got us a little Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best two-way backs in the league.
Nice.
Nice. So we're 1
I
for
like
1 so
that.
far. You got any weight in that one?
No,
Try to
no
figure
weight.
this one out.
No weight. I can
on,
tell
hold
there's
on.
no weight. See if you
Let's
see any weight.
Let's do this right.
Exactly. Hey, got any?
These feel good, bro. Go through those.
Oh, wow.
We're going to give you
This
2.
is
I won't
definitely
open
thick.
another one, man. You got 2.
No. You can open one.
No, it's Danny.
I can't even get these open. I'm worried about. See, I get too. I'm like too worried about.
Damaging them?
Yes.
You're good. You're good.
There we go.
You got that.
All right. Ooh. Ooh. Here we go. Ooh, a little Ben Roethlisberger.
Nice.
Immortals.
Hey, that's a nice one.
Oh, there we go.
Let's go.
A little Micah Parsons.
And dual color on the patch is big.
Yeah.
You want to see a couple different colors on that.
Oh, that
numbered
is
or not
pretty
numbered?
Nice. Not numbered, but
Okay.
still.
Nice
That's a
little
good
patch.
pull. Yeah, that's a good one. Little Jalen Hurts, Jair Alexander, Baker Mayfield. Cool.
We love Baker here. We love Baker here.
Some more.
Let's see if I can cheat and feel one more. All right, we'll go with this one. This is going to be my last one, guys.
All right.
All right, last one. Let's see if we can get some. You got one more. Let's go. We'll go Danny one more. Let me get this one open and let's see what we got. There we go. Now we're talking. We got numbered. We got a numbered certified stars.
Ooh.
That's our boy.
That's Malik Neighbors, too.
That's the one right there.
Oh,
That's
I
Malik
like
Neighbors
that
to
one.
99. You take that one home if you like it. You're a giant.
Nice.
We got, what do we have here? What do we have here? Oh, this is just a placeholder. What are we doing? Oh, we got another numbered. How about it? How about our boy Ashton Genty to 399? Not bad.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Not bad. We got a record setter right here, Myles Garrett.
Yep.
Single season sack record holder.
Strong.
We got 2,000 yards Saquon Barkley, and we got the man himself. We got Jordan Love,
Nice.
starting quarterback. Not too bad this box so far.
That is really strong. That is awesome. Is that Genty? You already have a downtown Genty, don't
Nope,
you?
I sure don't. I sold that sucker for 600 beans raw a couple of weeks ago.
Nice. Good for you. All right, let's see what we got. This one does have some thickness, so what's in here? All right, we got that.
Well, that's a That
Oh, we got a Marvin Harrison, Franchise Foundation.
Not bad.
I got a bunch of Kyle Williams. Now, this one is numbered, though. It's of 25, 8 of 25.
Not too bad. 25's all right.
That's pretty good. That's pretty strong. Jesse Bates, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Those are pretty good. That's pretty good. So, yeah,
Danny, I got the
you want one
self-discipline of
more?
a child. You want to go one more? We have time for one more.
No, you do them.
No, let's go. Let's go one more.
All right.
Guys, I'm sorry in the back. You guys can open the last three. We love
That's
you.
This is
I'm
too
telling
much
you, I
fun.
got no discipline
I'm like
here.
a kid in a candy store.
All right, let's do it. Last one for me. Again, my second last one. Sorry, guys. All right, we got again. This is the kids' reporters. Those aren't much anything. How about Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, who turned himself into a big-time quarterback?
It's pretty strong.
All right, nothing here.
You get a lot of those.
Little numbered
They
action.
just tease you.
We got a lineman?
Is that Gray
We got
Zabel?
Gray Zabel.
Yeah, I've
numbered
got
to
some, I got a
299.
bunch of Gray
Nice.
Zabels.
Nice. You know you got to be a good lineman to get a numbered card.
Yeah.
How about, Christian Gonzalez, Monster Super Bowl.
Yep.
This is a guy I actually PC at home. I actually really like him a lot. It's Bucky Irving.
Yeah, I got to
Bucky.
bring you some Bucky Irving. I got some Bucky Irving.
Do it. Let's do it. And last but not least, how about Kareem Hunt, second go around with the Chiefs?
Solid.
Nice. Couple times Super Bowl
Impressed.
champion.
I got to get more of these hobby boxes. These things got just
Terrible,
nothing
right?
hits.
Shout out to Bleacher Breaks. Thank you guys for hooking us up.
Little Jalen Milrow,
Hey, nice.
certified rookie.
Cool.
He does have a Super Bowl ring early in his career. That's pretty impressive. Tua, AJ Brown, Josh Jacobs, and Calvin Ridley.
Okay, not a bad box.
Not a
And
bad
we got a
box.
couple.
That's
We got a
great
couple
box.
packs left.
Heck yeah.
If I thought there was stuff in them,
let the guys get those.
yeah, we'll let these
We gotta
guys.
let them
We'll
have
get these
some
guys
fun.
feast a little bit. Thank you
Yep.
guys for the extra time. We appreciate you. You're the best.
You guys are awesome. That's a ton of fun. I like our little tradition here at the end of the show. It's
Yeah, it's
getting
getting cool.
expensive, but it might start paying for itself here before long.
That's what I'm
All it
talking
takes is
about. Let's
that
go.
one.
Let's go.
Appreciate you guys. Make sure you check us out, subscribe, like, and leave us some comments on the YouTube channel. Give us a follow on socials at Danny Kanell.
At Manno Steel at Instagram, and you heard it, man. We're at 5,000 subs, guys. Let's get that thing up to 10 right away. The better we do, the better we can bring you guys some cool stuff on sites, the whole nine. Thank you guys so much.
See y'all.